Live from Melbourne, this is 7's Afternoon News with Jacqueline Felgate.
This afternoon, the mother of 3 children who drowned in a Wyndham Vale lake quizzed by homicide detectives. Free rides for Melbourne rail commuters as train drivers threaten strike action. 2-year bans for Collingwood players who took illicit drugs. And a Victorian MP vows to change Parliament after taking over as Speaker. Good afternoon. The mother of 3 children who drowned when their car went into a lake at Wyndham Vale is being questioned over their deaths. Emily Angwin is covering the story. Emily, what more do we know?
Jackie, this was initially thought to be a tragic accident, but it appears to have taken a sinister twist. Homicide Squad detectives were at the home of Akon Good this morning. 7 News got exclusive pictures of detectives entering the property and speaking to friends and family. And then at around
Middle East to Malaysia, and will meet the Prime Minister and President there.
Melbourne's renowned White Night Festival will return next year, but it's unclear how much taxpayers will have to fork out. That's coming up on the afternoon news. Also, the killer of a Good Samaritan reveals what happened on a tragic night in Brunswick. And a fully loaded driver caught on the Monash freeway. A man who pleaded guilty to the murder of Good Samaritan Luke Mitchell has taken the witness stand to give evidence against 2 of his friends. Luke was stabbed to death in Brunswick after going to help someone in need. Taparat Tepsut has told how, after an initial fight with Luke, he grabbed a bunch of knives and gave them to his friends before they went looking for him. They found Luke at a 7-Eleven where he was stabbed and kicked. He later died in hospital. The 3 alleged killers fled to Thailand after the attack. Tepsut has admitted to his role in the attack, but his 2 co-accused are standing trial after pleading not guilty. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump has been forced to defend his views on women after widespread outrage over his comments about a female debate moderator. Trump says he cherishes women and won't apologise for his comments about blood, which he says are being twisted unfairly.
Donald Trump is refusing to apologise.
I said nothing wrong.
His critics disagree.
You could see there was blood coming out of her eyes.
The 3-year-old driver was hit with a fine of $228. Let's get a quick check of what's happening on the weather front with meteorologist David Brown. And Brownie, some sunshine on the way.
Yes, indeed, Jackie. Just what the doctor ordered following a rather dull and gloomy weekend in Melbourne. At the moment, as we have a look from our weather camera, we see the convective cloud is starting to build in and around the city. Temperature-wise, it's currently sitting on 14 degrees and pressure is falling. Yes, a change is on the way. In fact, I've been tracking it for most of the day. What we're looking at here is the prefrontal trough that's been moving across the southwest corner, fueling scattered showers. The bulk of it's moving away to the south. But at the moment, we've got a few showers moving in and around Melbourne. In fact, it's raining at Geelong. So if you haven't got the washing in, probably a good idea to pop outside and do it. Further upstream, we've got another cold outbreak that's starting to develop, and it'll reach full force tomorrow. In fact, as our coldest start to August rolls on, it'll bring torrential rain to the state and, of course, some wild winds to western parts of Victoria. In fact, the Bureau has just posted a gale warning for the West Coast, and, of course, I'll have more details in about 30 minutes, Jackie.
See you then, Brownie. Thank you. One of Melbourne's most photographed locations is about to undergo a much-needed facelift. That's after the break on 7 News. Also, 2 men sentenced over a crash that killed 2 brothers. And a rare sighting of a white humpback having a whale of a time. 2 men have been jailed over the deaths of brothers in a terrifying road rage chase that ended when the victim's car slammed into a tree. Gary and Fred Wirham were killed during what the judge described as a rage-fuelled act of madness near Bendigo in January last year. They had just phoned 000 before they died, saying 2 cars were trying to drive them off the road. Jamie McPherson will serve up to 8 years in jail. Shane Sargent will spend up to 5 years behind bars. A survey by the CSIRO has found Australian diets are getting worse and a junk food addiction is to blame. The results show we're overindulging in all the wrong food and the eating habits of men are worse than women. Kath Turner has the details.
The report card from the CSIRO is in for Australian diet habits, and it is not good news. The CSIRO has given us
until November, but this could be our only glimpse at a white whale this year.
Beautiful. A new tool's now available for parents unsure about when's the right time to discuss the birds and the bees with their children. That's after the break on 7's Afternoon News. Also, a deal done to ensure the future of Melbourne's White Knight. And 70 years on from a moment that changed the world. Welcome back to 7's Afternoon News. Time now for a look at today's main stories. And the mother of 3 children who drowned when their car was driven into a lake at Wyndham Vale is being questioned over their deaths. We'll cross live for more on that developing story in 7 News at 6 with Peter Mitchell. Also, commuters will get a free travel day on Melbourne's public transport network next week after Metro staff voted yes to industrial action over a long-running pay dispute. The rail network will also be shut down for 4 hours on a day that's yet to be determined. And drivers are facing days of disruptions because of a collapsed crane at South Bank. It's forced the closure of the Kingsway exit, which brought chaotic scenes to the Westgate Freeway during the morning peak. At the moment, it's unclear when the crane will be removed. Motorists are being urged to remain patient. 2 Collingwood players who confessed to using illicit drugs have accepted 2-year bans. Lockie Keefe and Josh Thomas tested positive to a banned substance in February. They're adamant they didn't knowingly take the performance-enhancing drug clenbuterol. The pair has been delisted and hit with fines of $50,000 apiece. And federal parliament has a new speaker, with Tony Smith already laying down the law. The Victorian is promising to give every MP a fair go regardless of their allegiance, but wants better behaviour in return. The Premier has confirmed Melbourne's White Knight Festival will go ahead next year, but Daniel Andrews won't reveal how much the event will end up costing taxpayers. Brendan Donoghue has the details.
Well, it's easily Melbourne's biggest event of the year, and it's on again for next year, February 20, 2016. Last year, an estimated 500,000 people
attended. Attack. Perhaps that's why it values peace.
Retiring Australian captain Michael Clarke has rubbished claims wives and girlfriends helped cause Australia's Ashes disaster. That's still to come on the Afternoon News. Also, the moment a cyclist's race came to a crashing end. And the man who carried his best friend for days after a savage croc attack. You're watching Melbourne's Afternoon News, and in breaking news from AFL House, Essendon veteran Adam Cooney has been sent directly to the tribunal after being reported in yesterday's loss to the Giants. Cooney will answer the charge of rough conduct tomorrow night. Chief Football reporter Mark Stevens will have more on the match review panel's finding live in our 6 o'clock bulletin. And Collingwood star Travis Cloke is out to prove his fitness for Friday night's crucial clash with the Swans in Sydney. Cloke has missed the past 2 matches with a calf injury, but trained strongly this morning and is set to make a welcome return. Retiring cricket captain Michael Clarke has angrily rejected claims that wives and girlfriends are a distraction on world tours, describing it as a load of rubbish. He's defended his role as rumours circulate about why the Australian team is playing so badly.
On the field, the Ashes tour has gone horribly wrong, with back-to-back defeats, each in less than 3 days.
Full recovery, but his owner says he's just thankful to have him home.
It's now time for a check on the weather. David Brown joins me again now, Brownie.
Yes, Jackie, and we finally had a taste of sunshine, but it won't last. Details after the break.
This weather report is brought to you by Beacon Lighting's lamp sale, with 50% off your second lamp.
Hello again. Cloud continues to build over Melbourne. In fact, a few showers have now returned to the metro area as we look out across the southeastern suburbs. Earlier today, take a look at this. A band of light and patchy rain eventually pushed across the state early this morning. In its wake, well, we had a few hours of sunshine, but right now, as we can see, scattered showers are developing through western and central areas. Now, in the 24 hours to 9 a.m, rainfall totals were disappointing. Look at this. Most with less than 1 millimetre. Right now, temperature-wise, it's hovering around 14 degrees in the city. We're looking at 16 throughout Gippsland, also up in the Mallee country. For the high country, though, different story. Sub-zero, -1 at both Falls Creek and Mount Buller. From the satellite, as we take a look now, we can see there's not much left in this system. In fact, it's peaked and it's now starting to slip away to the south. Upstream, different story. Have a look at this. Strong front is building. It's expected to reach full strength just to the west of us tomorrow. Now, that's great news if you enjoy skiing and boarding. The reason why, the cold and moist northwesterlies will bring lots of snow midweek. We're expecting around 10 to 30 centimetres just in time for the weekend. Around the nation, more sunshine throughout Queensland tomorrow. In fact, quite a pleasant 25 degrees expected in Noosa. Dry for Sydney, around 19 degrees. Different story for Adelaide. As we can see, rain building, very, very windy indeed, and around 14 degrees. Back in our part of the world, a gale warning has been posted for the west coast. We can see the showers starting to spread from the west late in the day, but ahead of that, we should see a few snow showers across the Alpine peaks. For Gippsland, quite mild and plenty of sunshine, just like today. Back in the metro zone, this we're expecting essentially fine conditions, and for the city centre, few showers tonight, dry tomorrow, but rain developing tomorrow night. There'll be more details, of course, coming your way at 6 o'clock, Jackie.
Thanks, Brownie. See you tomorrow. And that's Melbourne's afternoon news for today. Thank you for joining us. Stay with 7. Our next main bulletin is at 6. For now, from the 7 News team, good afternoon.
Excellent. Well done.